is up, Nerds Nation? Welcome to the F and Nerds Podcast, episode 17. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Nick Denizio, and sitting across from me is my dude, Martin Moreno.
Trying to hold my excitement because we got some shit to talk about.
I was going to say, if you couldn't tell by our setup what is going on right now, then I don't know what to tell you.
I like those shoes.
So we got another action-packed, adrenaline-fueled, no-holes-barred episode for you guys. But before we get started, if you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure you give us a thumbs up and click that subscribe button. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else, please check back each week as we try to upload new content for you guys to listen to. All right, Martin, we got so much shit to discuss, so much stuff, so we're just going to jump right in. We're going to rapid fire it. We're going to start off talking about the Batman, but it's not the Batman that we're really going to be talking about. But let's get it going. So Matt Reeves' Batman is said to resume production next month in the UK. Recent reports stated that the film will be moving indoors, with a number of sets being built this month to help finish production after it was shut down in March due to the coronavirus. So really cool, awesome. We kind of knew this was coming. I actually thought filming started like earlier than this. Like I thought it was already ongoing.
Well, they were building sets.
But they were building sets. So I guess like by the time September rolls around, they're going to be finished. And the cool thing too is that I believe they're also using some of that Mandalorian technology.
The volume.
Yes.
Yeah, which is really cool. This is also very encouraging. I just put my gum away. I'm like, what is Martin doing? Yeah, I was putting a napkin.
Your gum tasted like shit.
Okay.
This is very encouraging that movie productions are now kind of sort of moving forward. It's cool. It's cool to see. It's good news. I am a little bummed about it though, because I feel like given what we saw from the behind the scenes photos and the behind the scenes footage, Reeves was really using Glasgow because Glasgow is a very interesting city. It's like a city port, like right by the river. And it's got like a lot of Victorian architecture, a lot of Victorian era, Victorian civic architecture.
So we're kind of going back to that Gothic setting.
Yeah, almost. So I know a little bit about architecture. So it's almost like he was really using this sort of like natural environment that Glasgow had to offer to really build his world and really build his Gotham. It's something that obviously not going to be able to replicate indoors, but I trust him now that he's going to be able to properly see his vision through. And given that they spent a lot of time building sets, it's also very encouraging. It's not all green screen like some other studios like to do.
I understood that reference.
But this will give some like proper templates and references to like actors and shit like that. And with the volume, like you said, that's also a game changer. If you haven't seen the making of The Mandalorian with the technology show, check that out. So yeah, cool news, encouraging, and looking forward to some more stuff this Saturday.
Oh yeah,
on the Dome.
On the Dome. All right, we're gonna move on to a little bit of heist news. So we got more heist movies on deck. So Amazon has casted Daniel Day Kim and Randall Park for a brand new heist project. They are collaborating on an untitled heist film that will be written by young Kim, with Amazon Studios releasing. Plot details are being kept under wraps, but it will feature a union of high school friends who come together for a heist. Kim and Park will produce alongside with John Chen under Kim's 3AD banner. And what else was I going to say? There was something else that was really cool about this. Jesus. The fact that it's going to be an all Asian cast.
Ooh.
So, which is really cool because I was thinking of like who you could possibly get to kind of fill out this cast. So if you're kind of doing like an Ocean's 11 type of thing, like there's so many people that I want to see in this cast. You have like John Cho, Ali Wong, Steven Yeun, Constance Wu would be awesome. Awkwafina. If you want to do comedy, Jimmy O Yang would be perfect.
Pretty much like the Crazy Rich Asians cast.
Basically, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what it is. And I mean,
but also some veterans like Jet Li or
Jackie Chan.
Yeah, you want to bring in some like some master, some sensei, so to speak.
Yeah, and oh my God, why am I forgetting her name? She played the mother in Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh,
she's awesome.
Yes, she was also in. Yes, I know who you're talking about. Also, the one. Also, Gemma Chow is her name. Also, she was in. She was in. Oh my God. She was in the Captain Marvel. I'm sorry. She played the Blue Lane in Captain Marvel, and she was also in Crazy Rich Asians, I believe. I think is that her name, Gemma Chow?
I think it's either Gemma Chow or Gemma Chan.
Yeah,
it might be that. Wait, I have to look this up now because Michelle Yeoh. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Useless.
Yes, Michelle Yeoh would be awesome. So like you have just like such a wealth of actors to choose from that would make up for a really awesome cast. And with it being a heist film, that already perks my ears up. I'm already all in on this. Give me this movie right now. I can't wait.
I'm excited to see what the tone's going to be because obviously Randall Park brings a sort of more light humor, comedic aspect to it. Kim, not so much.
Right. So
I'm excited to see what the tone's going to be. And yeah, I mean, I'm I consider myself a fake Asian. I'm not like like I am.
You got some of it in you.
I'm 25% Chinese, but I by no means like I'm proud to say that I'm part Chinese. Like don't get it twisted. Like I definitely am, but I don't speak Chinese. I don't understand Chinese. I've never been to China, but like I have but I do have a Chinese background, so it's also cool to see. I
Yes,
guess.
absolutely. And if anyone is a big Lost fan, it's got to be cool to see Daniel Dae Kim kind of headlining a project. Since then he hasn't gotten a ton of roles. I know he was on Hawaii Five-0 for a long time, and more recently he was in the Hellboy reboot, which was terrible. But it's awesome to see him kind of headlining something.
And he was also he was pushed a lot for Namor.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, which would have been fun to see. Yeah,
right. Which they could still do.
They could,
depending on what goes on. All right, we're gonna move on here to something that I have a pretty big problem with. So Paramount Pictures has set a remake of the classic John Hughes 1987 road trip comedy Planes, Trains, and Automobiles as a star vehicle for Will Smith and Kevin Hart. Hart's Heartbeat Productions and Smith's Westbrook Studios will produce, and Aisha Carr will write the script. This is, I think, her film debut. Her TV and credits include Brooklyn Nine-Nine and the upcoming Hulu series Woke.
Cool.
So I hate this, to be completely honest.
Shut it down.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is an absolute classic. It's John Candy, Steve Martin. Just like it's an all-timer. It's probably like also one of the few like Thanksgiving like holiday classics. But like I see no point in this. I see no point in this at all. Like Will Smith and Kevin Hart as a team up is I think an awesome idea. But just give them something else. To come up with something original. Like I'm sick and tired of this fucking bullshit. Like how we just have to remake all these movies, and now we're like, I don't know. I just don't get it. Like
I feel like like you're both talented individuals, very I guess like notable names in Hollywood. Like collaborate and do something original. Give us something new. Give us something fresh. And that doesn't mean that they're not going to put their own original take on this movie. I'm sure they will.
But still, it's like,
why are you trying to rehash an idea that we already got that's so beloved? Like,
and they just did it a few years ago with Zach Galifianakis and Robert Downey Jr.
What for Due Date?
Yeah. Due Date's basically Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't too crazy about that movie.
Right.
So that's good. It's even an even better point. But like, why are you trying to remake something when you both have like the talent and resources to do something, to possibly create something original and fun?
Right.
That's just kind of how I see it.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
I'm definitely with you. But we're actually going to stay on this topic of useless reboots. So there's a reboot for the classic horror film The Exorcist is in the works with Morgan Creek Entertainment. No cast or crew has been announced yet. The film plans to hit theaters sometime in 2021.
I don't get it. Okay, I'm a little torn on this. Insert Natalie Brugger reference again.
That's what's going on. Nothing's right, I'm torn.
Because on one side, like why, again, like we were just saying, it doesn't make any sense to reboot this, especially since they've tried so much to keep this franchise alive with sequels and prequels, and it has just not worked. I harness back to that awful CG hyena attack scene in like Exorcist the beginning, I believe it was.
Yeah.
From like early 2000s. So they've tried to keep Exorcist fetch happen. Obviously, it hasn't happened. But on the flip side of that, there's been sort of like a horror renaissance, so to speak, and a lot of like horror directors have kind of come onto the scene in recent years. Like I can probably name like 10 off the top of my head. So not just that, but also when you think of like The Conjuring, like sort of these like Exorcist, demonic possession films have done well, received well both commercially and financially. So commercially and critically. So I understand that the market is probably the best it's been in forever to bring this property back. But I think once we get an idea of who the director's going to be, I'll probably I'll make up my mind moving forward from there.
That's kind of the reason why I have no faith in this, is because if you look at these movies that have come out, like we've said, we're in like kind of a horror renaissance with a lot of fantastic horror films that come out. The difference here is that there's absolutely no cast, no crew. It's literally saying we're going to remake The Exorcist and we're going to find someone to do it.
Is it like a rights thing that they have to make a movie by a certain point or something?
I have no idea. And the fact that it's already coming out in 2021 and they have nobody attached to it yet, and we're like at the tail end of 2020.
It sounds like a terrible idea.
It's going to be a terrible idea because if you think about all these great horror movies that come out, it comes packaged with a director already, or the script has been written already. Like this feels like it's like, oh, we have to do this. Let's just throw a script together real quick. Let's get someone to direct it. Like it's just, I have zero faith that this is going to be any good.
Don't shoehorn yourself in that like 2021 release date. Nothing unless for all we know there could be like a rights issue.
It could be a rights issue. If they don't get it out, they're going to lose rights.
Right.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, that's unfortunate
Yeah.
because then you're just almost putting yourself in the corner to like quickly make something, and that for the most part doesn't usually result in something good.
True. So we're going to stay on the subject of horror. There's been some casting news for Scream 5. In the Heights and Vita star Melissa Barrera has joined the cast of Scream 5 in a key role. Longtime cast members David Arquette and Courtney Cox have also been confirmed to return, with production set to start later in the fall in Wilmington, North Carolina. I also thought I read somewhere that Neve Campbell was coming back too.
It hasn't been confirmed.
But there's rumors, right?
There's rumors,
yes,
yeah.
Okay.
I believe that she's already signed on. She's coming back. It just
Yeah.
hasn't been officially announced. But on top of this, because it was either this morning or last night, Jenna Ortega was also cast in this movie.
Really?
You haven't seen You.
Nope.
That fucking ridiculous, toxic, but amazing show. But she has a key role, so to speak, in that show. She's great in it. But what's exciting, obviously, is that both of these are Latinas. So it's very interesting to see because when you think of pretty much the Scream franchise, I love the Scream franchise. For those who don't know, I'm a massive Scream slut. The first movie was very impactful to me. I on a personal level, I love that movie so much. But when you think of like the first one and the fourth one, it was like White suburbia.
Yes.
Then you had the second one, White College University. The third one, White Hollywood,
Right.
like LA.
Yes.
So we haven't really had much of like a Latino presence in these movies, so it's kind of like the first time that we're getting that. How they're going to or why they're being brought in, I don't know if maybe Scream 5 is going to take place in like a Spanish barrio or like a Spanish neighborhood or something. Who knows? I have no idea. Or if they're simply like, I have no idea. But just seeing these two obviously Hispanic women being incorporated into the story and into this franchise now is really exciting.
I'm also really curious to see like just what this story is because, you know, when you reach the fifth movie, it's really difficult to not start rehashing things and like making it fresh. So I really hope that they have a fresh take on it, that they're going to somehow almost reinvent this series to kind of keep it going, almost kind of what Fast and Furious did by the time they hit Fast 5.
So they're gonna drag. So Ghostface is gonna drag a bank across the streets of wherever they are.
And it's now going to be a heist horror film.
Yes, give me that.
Which I'd be all for.
No, but I did see some cool kind of concept idea. Oh, speaking of that awesome fucking fan-made poster, incredible.
Oh, so
whoever
cool.
did it, incredible. It was so good. It had some like almost like Adventureland, like creepy.
I was gonna say whoever did it, we're gonna give them a shout out in the video.
Yeah, because they did an incredible job. It was such a cool fan-made poster. But yeah, I have seen some kind of cool stories and concepts floating around. One of them being do the sort of remember New Nightmare, the Freddy
yes,
when the girl who was being haunted, it was actually like a real life in the movie, she was like an actress,
right.
And then did something like that where actually Neve Campbell was playing Cindy Prescott, and now like the movie is like a real life situation where you have like an actual like stalker or obsessed person kind of like trying to bring the horror aspect to life,
right.
Which they kind of leaned a little bit into that in the fourth one.
Yes,
when people were like videotaping the kills, like because that's when like the internet was blowing up, like, oh, we're gonna put it on the black market, right, and stuff like that. So there is a lot of ways you can take this, but I'm excited that you have the original sort of I guess behind production team, or I believe is the original director who's producing it, right? Kevin Williamson.
Well, Kevin Williamson wasn't the director.
He was the writer.
He was the writer.
Right.
Wes Craven.
Craven. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh yikes! I just got my horror card revoked. Oh my God.
It's alright, man. It happens.
Ooh. Yeah, but the original writer is coming on to produce this, right?
Yes.
And then obviously
the Ready or Not team is,
which you still haven't seen.
Which I haven't seen, but I'm really like that kind of excites me because even though I haven't seen Ready or Not, everyone else that has seen it has said it's really good.
It's a really good movie.
So I like that these two directors are coming on. I would assume that they're going to have some sort of fresh take. That's why I have a lot of faith in this project.
Me too.
Because these are the guys that are coming on.
I'm like the more we hear about it, the more excited I'm getting for this.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. All right, let's jump over to a little bit of news from The Boys. So Supernatural star Jensen Ackles has been cast as Soldier Boy in the upcoming third season of The Boys. Production for season 3 is set to start in January 2021, with season 2 premiering next month in September. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. I have no idea who Soldier Boy is.
Yeah, Drake. Drake.
But
oh my God!
I have no idea who this character is.
Because you know how I came out excited?
Yeah.
Because it's almost like a perfect casting. Because I feel like Jensen Ackles has almost like a resting asshole face, so to speak. He has, like, I mean, I'm not trying to like throw shit at the guy, but he almost has like a bully persona.
Yes.
Just
by his look.
Yeah, by his look and his presence. And Soldier Boy is the complete opposite of that. He was like the goody two shoes of I don't think he was on the 7. He was on another team with Stormfront.
So he's basically like the only superhero that's not an asshole.
Yeah, and he's like super nice, and he doesn't like to swear. He doesn't like to do. He's like very by the book.
Right.
And he's just such like almost like he's a bit of like a comedic superhero too. Like whenever he hits you, he yells out a state of he yells out a state.
Oh, that's
so
hysterical.
he'll punch you and be like Alaska. Or he'll like uppercut you and be like New Jersey, or like something like it's.
Yeah.
He's such a he's a comedic character, and like some of the stuff that happens with him on the comics is crazy.
Yeah.
But they've pretty much proven that they've strayed away from the source material.
But they might pull some things. And
so I'm excited to see how they're going to work him into this, and if they're going to keep that sort of like goody two shoes, clean cut demeanor because they've obviously changed some of the characters around. But I really like this casting. I think it's going to pay out really well for them, and they've been doing all the right moves so far. So
yeah, absolutely.
I trust it.
And the other thing too is so I'm guessing he's like a Captain America parody.
Yeah, that's actually a perfect way of putting it. Yeah, pretty much.
So that's definitely exciting to see, and like we're obviously here.
He even has a shield, I believe.
Does he really?
I believe so.
Well,
yeah.
there you go.
But it's almost like the old school. Remember from like the first Avenger, the first shield that he has, which is almost like a triangular.
Yes.
It's almost similar to that, I believe.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I'm trying to dig down, and I think that's right.
You're goddamn right.
We'll fix it in post if it's not.
Right, but I would say either way, we're really excited for season 2, and we cannot wait for it to come out because it looks absolutely bonkers.
And the fact that they're already making some serious moves, because they also casted Shawn Ashmore as Lamplighter.
As Lamplighter.
Yeah, coming back into the superhero realm after Bobby.
Which that's really cool casting. Like I'm actually excited for that because
picture,
I heard
just that picture of him looked kind of menacing.
Well, that's what they said, and apparently Lamplighter's like a psycho. So like I'm excited to see Shawn Ashmore kind of delve into that.
Yeah. Coming back, I said he was Bobby next man. He was also in Smallville too. He had a little like Smallville stint. He was Jimmy Olsen in Smallville.
Okay, nice.
So, but yeah, that kind of just picture of him, like I was like, okay, that's a little creepy.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see. Yeah, they're just moving forward. So that's always a good sign, and that they're trusting them to like go ahead and like do your thing. So I'm excited for this.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's get into our main topics. And Martin, you're going to like this first one because it's from one of your all-time favorite directors.
Hell yeah.
So Guillermo del Toro has built a star-studded cast for his upcoming stop-motion animated musical Pinocchio. Gregory Mann will play the title role, with Ewan McGregor playing Jiminy Cricket and David Bradley playing Geppetto. Other names include Kate Blanchett, Tilda Swinton, and Christoph Waltz. Max Gustafson will direct the movie with Del Toro, who also co-wrote the script with Patrick McHale. Andre Desplat will provide the original music with lyrics provided by Del Toro and Cats. Actually, that's awesome. I didn't know Alexander Desplat was doing the music. The film is produced by Del Toro and a bunch of others.
Del Toro is literally like
because it has like a long line of producers on this.
Yeah, but it's like he is just so heavily involved.
Yeah.
Like this has actually been floating around for a while, hasn't it?
It has. So
like his Pinocchio movie.
As of right now, I mean, we heard about this. Netflix bought this, I think, 2 years ago. I want to say when this first got announced, and it's going to release in 2021. So.
And did you know that they've been filming since last year?
No, I had no idea
it's
because
under wraps.
Because I didn't hear anything about it, and so when this dropped, I was like, "Oh fuck yes, this is still going on." Because I was worried because with Del Toro, like he's got all these scripts written and like all these movies that he wants to make, and honestly, like I don't think he's going to be able to make half of them. Which is upsetting because when you look at like all those lists of like scripts that he's written,
you can find it online. He leaked a lot of shit that he wants to do, but yeah, they've been apparently, I believe it was in Oregon. He said they've been shooting kind of like low key since like last September.
That's really cool.
So like photography has been underway for like almost a year now, and yeah, just the fact that it's such a passion project to him, the fact that Netflix for the most part lets the creators do whatever they want. It either turns out good or bad. It's neither here nor there. But I feel like at this point, you can almost trust Guillermo. He has a very creative. Very specific vision, so to speak. And hey, it may not be for everyone. I know a lot of people had issues with Shape of Water and didn't get it.
Yeah.
I love that film. I think it's a gorgeous, beautiful film. And I'm excited to now see what he's going to do with this because you can almost expect it's going to be like a dark, creepy, almost Burton-esque type of film.
Well, that was what I wanted to ask you. Is like, so what do you think he's going to bring to this? Because obviously, I think we can all assume he's not going to do a straight up like adaptation. So I wonder if he's going to add in some sort of fantastical, maybe monster type of element into this. I feel like he has to.
That's his thing. He's all about that.
And the other cool thing is that the fact that it is stop motion, because I don't think we've had a high profile stop motion movie since I think Kubo and the Two Strings.
Right. Well, the same people who did Kubo also did
Paranorman.
No, not Paranorman. The one with Hugh Jackman, Zach Galifianakis, Missing Link, which actually,
Missing Link,
which
right,
I really liked.
right. That's right, and that was
movie.
probably high because I think that was last year. Or
That was about 2 years ago. Yeah, and it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed Missing Link. I was surprised how much I liked it.
Right. But yeah, it's definitely exciting to see, and obviously anything coming from Del Toro is something to get up about. I'm also with you. I love Shape of Water. I think it's such an awesome like genre mashing movie. The fact that it takes place in like the 50s, but like it just adds like Creature from the Black Lagoon,
tainted princess. It's the fantastical element that he just loves, but he just adds, he puts his take on everything, you know?
Right.
And it's beautiful, beautiful film.
Cannot wait for this to come out.
And that cast, bro, like come on,
so good,
fucking insane. 3 Oscar winners in there, like come on, like he's got all the chips are falling into place.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to jump onto a few movie trailers that dropped this week. A new trailer for Sofia Coppola's new film On the Rocks has been released. The film stars Bill Murray and Rashida Jones and is described as follows. A young mother who reconnects with her larger-than-life Playboy father on an adventure through New York. The comedy drama will be released in theaters later this year in October. It's also coming out on Apple Plus. I don't know if it's a day and date kind of thing where like the same day it comes out in theaters is also when it's going to drop on Apple Plus.
Way to go, Bob. What was that note? Fucking.
But I saw it today. I was like, oh, okay, so it's also going to be an Apple Plus kind of thing.
Did you see the trailer?
I did. I watched the trailer today, and I think it's a little misleading because I think they try to play it up as kind of like light and fun. And knowing Sofia Coppola, I don't think it's going to be anything like that. And
I also felt like they were. Well, this could just be me, but I felt like they were almost leaning as like a personal story. But from what we know, Francis Ford Coppola, it wasn't really like a big playboy.
Yeah, at least as far as we know.
Yeah, as far as we know, he's been happily married since like the 60s.
Right.
I loved this trailer.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe because it was Bill Murray and it gave me like some serious Lost in Translation vibes with like the cold hues over like the cityscapes and everything. But something about this trailer like really spoke to me. I found it very charming, and it's interesting that you say that because I found it almost like a heartwarming, good feel story.
See, I don't think it's going to be like that.
And if it's
I really
not,
don't.
Then...
I think you have to kind of look past the comedy element because I think the same thing happened with Lost in Translation. I think a lot of people saw that trailer and thought it was going to be like a Bill Murray like kind of fish out of water story in Japan where it's funny, and when you watch the movie, it's nothing like that. I mean,
no,
but
this is almost like the first movie that almost harnesses back to that Lost in Translation feel. Because everything that she's done since then has been like straight away from that.
Right, I would agree. And this is
kind of like the first thing that almost kind of takes us back to it. So that's probably why I was so drawn to it, because I think Lost in Translation is one of like the best films ever made.
Do you really?
I fucking love that.
I mean,
movie,
I do like Lost in Translation, but yeah.
And just the ambiguity of it, of just how it ends, and just the dialogue, and just I think it's such a great film. So yeah, maybe that's why this trailer spoke so much to me. But I'm really excited for this movie.
Yeah, and then I kind of. It's a very interesting story that I didn't expect to play out because I remember reading the log line for it before I actually saw the trailer, and then I watched it. I'm like, oh, okay, so she thinks, or at least Bill Murray thinks that Rashida Jones's husband, who's played by Marlon Wayans, is cheating on her. So they're gonna like basically spy on him throughout the whole movie to see if he's actually doing it. So that's an interesting concept that I didn't expect, and it's also something I don't think you really see. But I am excited for this. I think it's one of those like smaller movies that we don't get to see a lot, you know. And with Sofia Coppola,
but that's usually her niche though. She usually does like smaller films,
right?
And for the most part, I do like all of Sofia Coppola's movies. I think the last one she did was Beguiled.
Yes,
right.
I think that might have been the last one.
Yeah, which I liked. And then before that, you have like Bling Ring. You have actually Marion. Do you have anything before?
It's was it
Marie Antoinette? But that was after Lost in Translation.
Didn't she do one with Stephen Dorff and Dakota Fanning?
Oh yeah, no, it was Elle Fanning.
Or is it Elle Fanning?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, it is. I can't. I
remember
that
the
was
name.
Like 2011, I believe, something like that. I'm not sure, but yeah, I like Sofia Coppola, and I'm excited for this.
Yes. All right, let's move on to our next trailer that just dropped. A brand new trailer for Kenneth Branagh's upcoming film Death on the River Nile has also been released. The star-studded cast includes Gal Gadot, Armie Hammer, and Annette Bening, and is based on the Agatha Christie novel of the same name. The film is scheduled for an October 23rd release date. So obviously, if you've seen this, you know it's a sequel to Murder on the Orient Express.
Which I forgot about.
Right.
I totally forgot about the final scene. Remember when he gives him the note?
Yes.
It's like I totally forgot about that.
Yep.
When I watched the trailer back, I'm like, oh yeah, cool.
So, and a lot of you might not realize this, but Murder on the Orient Express was actually really successful, like surprisingly, because I think it opened and it had like a modest opening, but had legs, and like it just carried it. And I think
it make like 380
something like that
on like a $50 million budget.
It was like one of like
that?
the most sneakily like successful films of that year that it came out. I also found it pretty funny too, because like somebody said, it's someone's like, it's a sequel to Murder on the Orient Express when it's got
music.
When it's got modern music with like a twist to it.
Yeah, on the trailer, right?
Yeah,
because I just remember that fucking Imagine Dragons song from the first.
That's right. Yeah. And it was like, you also know, because it has a star-studded cast, it's got a weird Kenneth Branagh mustache and it has a weird Kenneth Branagh accent.
I am Detective Hercule Poirot, and I will deliver your killer.
Well, when as it was playing out, I like slowly started remembering because I didn't mind Murder on the Orient Express.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, I saw it on the plane.
Yeah, I think it's a fine movie.
I've seen on planes. But yeah, I thought it was fine. I enjoyed it for the most part. But yeah, I totally forgot about that sort of tag at the end when the guy gives him the note when he gets off the train, and it like instantly came back to me when I was watching the trailer. But yeah, just between dude, the fucking cast that was established between this movie and Murder on the Orient Express is like unreal.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, I'm actually somewhat excited for this just because of how much I surprisingly enjoyed Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
So cool.
I also think it's cool because Gal Gadot seems to be like the headliner, which is awesome, and she's also doing an American accent, which is kind of wild. Like if you watch the trailer, like
well, hopefully she does a good job.
Yeah,
We're rooting for you, Gal.
Right. And then Armie Hammer, it's always cool to see him in stuff. I also don't know if you realize this, Russell Brand's in this movie, and he's unrecognizable. And like it's like
his hair's shorter.
That's what I mean. His hair's short. He's got glasses. So like if you didn't know he was in this movie, I don't think you would recognize that it was him. So
which is weird because
cool.
I'm like on the fence with Russell Brand because I liked him when he came on scene with For Gangster and Marshall. I wasn't too crazy about getting him to the Greek. I know you like him. You like it a lot more than I do. But I feel like a lot of his like stand-up comedy stuff that he had like following after that, like in the early 2010s, kind of like turned me off. I just wasn't about it. I didn't, not that it was like offensive or anything. I just didn't like it. I just didn't think it was funny.
Just wasn't a fan.
Yeah, and but kind of seeing him again recently on like interviews, like the Joe Rogan podcast, kind of seeing him in Hot Ones. I'm just like, this guy's not bad. He's a kind of chill dude. So I'm excited to see him in this because I haven't seen him in the movie in forever. Right.
I feel like he also kind of gets a bit of a bad rap. I think people find him like annoying. You know what I mean? But
that's what it was. I felt like his stand-up was just it was obnoxious, and he was trying to be funny through his like, obnoxiousness, if that's even the word. And I just was like, this is just not funny at all. Like, And it was like a couple of those that I saw that I just got the same. I felt the same thing from it, and I was like, all right, I'm kind of over this.
You know who else is in this movie? Who? Rose Leslie.
Egret.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Let's go find a cave, Rose. I love you.
All right, now we're going to jump over to some DC and Marvel news. So Olivia Wilde apparently has closed a deal to direct and develop a female-centric Marvel movie, with many speculating that it's Spider-Woman after the actress retweeted the news with a spider emoji.
Clever girl.
So this is kind of awesome. I am a little hazy on who Spider-Woman is. Obviously, this isn't Spider-Gwen from Into the Spider-Verse, right? Like it's not that yet.
No, that's Gwen Stacy.
Is it Jessica Drew?
Jessica Drew.
Jessica Drew. Okay,
yes.
So who is Jessica Drew?
Okay, I'm a late Jessica Drew Spider-Woman fan, so to speak. I just discovered her recently for a 2020 run that she started, I believe, a couple months ago, and from her backstory, she kind of gained her powers when she was a child. Through like she's got a very like there's a lot of like backstory to her, but from what I saw, like she gained her powers when she was a child, and she's Spider-Woman. She has pretty much the same powers as Spider-Man does, and very similar to Spider-Man, how we, or at least me personally, how I find Peter Parker a very relatable superhero. Like a guy's always stressing out about shit, whether it's financial issues or whether it's like a girl or whatever. Like Peter Parker is just such a relatable character, which is probably why he's so beloved. And she's a little similar. Okay. She's a mom. I believe I can't remember her son's name. I want to say Gerald, but I could be wrong, so I'm sorry. But she goes, obviously fights crime, and then she has to come home and deal with her fucking baby who also has powers.
What?
So she has to get him off the fucking ceiling. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's just like this sort of sensibility that they added to that character, which was really fun to see, and very similar to like Peter Parker from like Spider-Man 2 or whatever. Like she has like financial issues every now and then, and just I think that notion of like her being a mom and being a superhero is very interesting and very fun to explore. And there's an incredible panel that motherfucker, I'm forgetting the name, a few moments later, because we have to give these people a shout out because it's an incredible panel.
A few moments later.
Okay, and we're back. So I'm just looking at Carla Pacheco is the one who wrote it, I believe, and then Oren. Oh my god. Okay, and then Oren Jr. So it's an incredible panel. We'll post it up here on the video. We'll post it. But she's just like on the cab on her way home, and she's exhausted. And she's just kind of like leaning over to the window, and she's just like tired. And It's like one of my favorite pieces of art that I've recently seen, and yeah, I'm really. Everyone is assuming Spider-Woman obviously because of Spider emoji, but obviously because Amy Pascal is producing it. So obviously her roots and sort of tie-ins with Sony, given that Sony also has the majority of the properties with the like Spider-Verse, so to speak. Everyone everyone's assuming there's Spider-Woman, so it hasn't been confirmed yet.
Right.
But that would be an interesting character to dive into, especially since Olivia Wilde's kind of hot right now. A lot of people are kind of knocking at her door after what she did with Booksmart. So yeah, I'm excited. It's cool.
Well, that's the thing I was going to touch on too. Is I've been a pretty big Olivia Wilde fan ever since like Tron Legacy, and like even like movies that aren't that great, like The Change Up. Like Change Up is not like the greatest movie, but I love that movie.
That's when she gets the tattoo, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then just now she's kind of developed into just this really like fantastic director. So that's awesome to see. And I think it was only a matter of time before she was going to do like a really big kind of budget movie. So if it's something like Spider-Woman, that'd be really awesome.
And this is almost like Marvel's up. It's like almost up Marvel, not so much Sony's, but Marvel's alley, where they kind of find this like sort of indie good storyteller, and they're like, "Hey, come on board and direct this movie."
Yeah, and the fact that she's just a veteran at this point in all aspects, I think, of movie making,
exactly.
like that just
even
makes
like
it that
television
much better.
too. Because remember she was that shit show Vinyl. She was on there for a while.
That's right.
Too. Oh
yeah,
my God, I hated that show so much.
So with that being said, who do you want to see to like play Spider-Woman? Who would you want to get cast?
I don't even.
Because like I have no idea of the character, so I couldn't even give you a fan casting for me personally.
I couldn't even, for some crazy reason, Jessica Biel just popped into my head. But depending on which route they go, because like I said, because she has many different origin stories, but like the one that I'm familiar with is when she got her powers when she was a child. So it's like, where was she this whole time? You know, if it is in the MCU sort of world, which I think is something that they're gonna have to figure out with like Fantastic Four and X-Men, stuff like that. So there is maybe ways of like possibly bringing in these characters through the multiverse, so to speak. Who knows? But yeah, for some reason Jessica Biel just popped into my head. Who else would be a good one? Because I'm thinking of like an almost like older actor with like dark hair.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm kind of thinking. But yeah, I couldn't really give you a good answer.
Could you do Kate Beckinsale?
I think that's a little too old.
Too much?
Yeah, I'm not calling Kate Beckinsale old. I'm just saying.
Bro.
She's a smoke show, so though.
Still.
She still gets it, and she's so like sophisticated.
Yeah.
I want to have like a cup of tea with her. But yeah, I think she's a little too old for. I'm thinking like late 30s.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm like picturing. If they do we don't even know what
like what kind of route they're gonna take with it.
They're gonna take. Yeah. We don't know what vision if Olivia Wilde is doing this, we don't know what vision she has in mind.
Right.
So you just kind of, at this point, I just feel like you can almost trust Olivia Wilde. Like you said, she's a veteran. She knows the ins and outs of Hollywood at this point, and you can almost trust her creative vision and who she wants to cast.
Right. So keeping on Marvel, so they've just hired, at least in talks, J.C. Chandler, who directed Triple Frontier, is heading up Marvel's Kraven the Hunter. So I feel like this kind of confirms that Kraven the Hunter is going to be in Spider-Man 3, even though we kind of already knew that.
Yeah.
So now it's just a matter of who do you get? Because I keep seeing some names thrown around, and I don't know if they're going for a big name to play Kraven, but the fact that he's going to go into Spider-Man 3, play this villain, and then headline his own movie, like that's interesting. And that just keeps Sony with setting up like their whole
villainverse
world. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because they were the description for the sort of casting call was like a Joel Kinnaman type.
When you could have just gotten Joel Kinnaman.
Yeah, it's like, when she wants a guy like you, but you're a guy like you.
Right, yeah.
Like, what the fuck? But he's obviously busy with DC right now with Suicide Squad.
Right.
So that's probably, I guess, why they don't really want to go after him, which we've seen. Look, Keaton's coming back. He's still playing Vulture.
Yeah.
You can do it, Kinnaman. Go ahead. And I love Joel Kinnaman, so
yeah,
why not? But if we were to play hypotheticals right now, and they are going for the Joel Kinnaman type, they're obviously going for like almost like a taller, almost brooding, older actor, so to speak, which makes sense.
Right.
I know. Shout out to In the Wife podcast. They also made a mention of how I believe it's Stepan Sijic,
Yes,
he's
I
the one
didn't
who
say
plays Colossus.
Yes.
His name has. I've seen his name being thrown around a lot, which would be interesting, especially since he already has a relationship with Marvel.
And I've looked at some of like his pictures because like I honestly don't know him outside of Colossus. And then like I saw him and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool.
He can probably bring, and he can also bring maybe like a background cultural aspect, so to speak, to it, like with maybe some like crazy accent or something like that. I saw some amazing fan casting of Jason Momoa because he always wears like the big feathery.
Oh right.
He always wears like crazy over like feathery leather clothes. So someone like literally just took him with like a regular outfit and just did some minor tweaking, and it looked awesome. But yeah, I think that they're going to stick in that sort of like Joe Kinnaman step in sort of Jason Momoa type, which makes sense because he's a fucking hunter. You want someone who's like intimidating,
right?
It's gonna like over like power like shadow you and shit. So yeah,
and I also think that this semi still confirmed because obviously with the Morbius trailer they kind of let out the big secret that Keaton's Vulture is going to be in that movie,
and in that trailer we have Raimi's Spider-Man,
right?
So it's a whole bunch of shit that's going on.
So we're kind of speculating that they're setting up some sort of Into the Spider-Verse kind of aspect here with like the Sony side of things, but now the fact that Kraven the Hunter is getting his own movie while he's probably going to first appear in Spider-Man 3, I guess that means that they are at some point going to connect the MCU Spider-Man with all of Sony's villains. So Tom Hardy's Venom, Jared Leto's Morbius. So at some point you're going to have all these people collide.
Right. And they're not... I just thought of the Howie Day song. You and I collide.
Do.
Fuck, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. But the fact that they're not really... going out and announcing it like last time,
right?
Like good to them. Like let's keep our. Oh, I was thinking of a metaphor. I was like, let's keep our guns in our holsters. That's not even a thing. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. But let's just keep it close. Like let's not put it out there just yet. Let's not
let the horses out of the stable.
Sure. Is that a thing? I don't know.
Sure, why not?
Why not?
We're making shit up.
Yeah, let's just keep it. That's what we do here.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact they're just not getting ahead of themselves, so to speak, is a good for you.
Right.
Good for that. Not just like going ahead and announcing it, like properly building it, getting see how the people react to it, and then you can branch off from there.
Right. Let's not take the car out of the garage just yet.
Oh, you got all the metaphors coming out. I wish I can fire one out, but I can't. Also, too, somebody watching the shit that watching Project Power. I kind of miss Jamie Foxx's Electro. I wish I do. I'm not gonna lie, I do. I just seeing him, I'm like, oh, he would have been cool. Like I would have enjoyed to see him as Electro again.
Yeah, but
really
not like the cartoony Electro that we got in Amazing Spider-Man.
Not like
2,
the Batman Forever,
where he's like,
this is the Batman Forever.
What was his line? It's my birthday.
Now it's time for me to light my candles.
I'm like, oh my god, what are we doing here?
It's my birthday. It's like, oh, you know me? It's like, yeah, you're my eyes and ears out here. It's like, oh my god, Spider-Man knows me. It's like, yeah, not great.
You're right though. It's basically Jim Carrey's Riddler.
It is. That's really what
exactly
even like
what
him speaking to himself in his apartment and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have enjoyed to I would have liked to see Jamie Foxx. I would have liked to see more of him as Electro. But obviously we're never gonna get that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh well. It is what it is, Bob.
All right, Martin. So we've reached our big topic of the day.
The Chris Pratchett.
Before we get into what we're really going to talk about, I want to talk about DC FanDome first.
The Dome.
I want to talk about the Dome, and obviously it is upcoming. It's this week. Just for you guys that are listening, I will not be here all of next week. I'm going on a little vacation.
Oh, good for you.
But when we come back, that's when we're going to recap DC FanDome. So, by the time you're listening to this, it will be next week, and DC FanDome will have already happened. All the goodies will have dropped. But just wait until the following week to hear our reactions to everything, and so that's just a little heads up for you guys.
If you care, if you don't care,
if you don't care, then we'll go.
It's fine. Thanks for stopping by.
We'll go fuck ourselves. But yeah, so DC FanDome, obviously it's coming, and there's so much shit that's gonna happen. What are you looking forward to the most, and what are you looking to see?
Well, what I was looking forward to the most kind of already got confirmed.
All right, but we're gonna talk about
aside from that, I'm ready. I'm excited to see the Batman, the Reeves Batman panel.
Yes.
I'm hoping that we get the first official images of the villains, of Penguin, of Colin Farrell's Penguin, of Paul Dano's Riddler, of Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. Fingers crossed for a purple suit.
Purple suit.
I'm really hoping for a purple suit.
and the goggles. Give me that.
Right here. It's like right there.
Yeah.
I'm also excited to see hopefully some footage of the Batman.
I think confirmed we're going to see something.
Okay, because I want to see his costume in context. I want to see the Batmobile in context. We may not get that, but I really just want to see some sort of. I want to see these characters in context to the world that he's creating.
Yes, and we already got the logo, which was awesome.
Which is really cool. I'm liking the red. It's very different.
I know, and I also am liking the symbol. I really like the symbol. Now,
it's like a bat.
Yeah,
it's like the
it looks more like a bat
symbol that I think we've ever gotten.
And then you got that really awesome Jim Lee artwork of the Battinson suit.
Yeah.
So it looks really cool. So yeah, I'm with you. I want to see it in context. I want to see live action. Give me it.
Other than that, I'm excited to see some Snyder stuff. The guy is excited. He's been teasing a whole bunch of shit.
He dropped a little more footage today.
Which he's been doing like the countdown every single day. He's been like thing, which I've said this before. I don't know if I said this on here, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Zack Snyder color palette, so to speak.
Yes.
He desaturates his shit a lot. He adds like a smoky filter, and you can just see it. That when we get the shots of the feet, Aquaman and Wonder Woman's feet are like black.
It's dark.
It's like black, and I'm like, Jesus. But
it might not be final color.
I mean, if he's putting it out there, you almost assume there's final color. But I'm still super excited to see the Snyder Cut. I'm really excited for this. I'm excited to see more footage. We just know that he's like ready to just take all these hot dogs and just
throw them.
Just throw them at our faces. Like he's excited, and I'm excited too.
The Zack Dome.
The Zack Dome. Other than that, what else am I looking? Oh well, I don't know if you saw this, but recent news like yesterday or the day before. They're going to split it into two.
I did see that.
So they're going to have another event in September.
So I think Saturday is going to be kind of like the big day.
Everything that was already established.
And then they're kind of going to do, I guess, some of the smaller stuff. I think more comic-oriented stuff is going to be on that day in September.
Yeah. So that's fun to see.
I mean, obviously, we have James Gunn's Suicide Squad. We're probably going to get some sort of sizzle reel to see that.
I'm excited. No, because then essentially from Suicide Squad is essentially going to come out a year from now.
Yes.
So I would imagine we're probably going to get a trailer.
Probably some sort of teaser.
Yeah, I would imagine we're going to get some sort of teaser. I really love the logo. Yep. I don't know if we spoke about it.
We haven't really talked about it, but the logo's cool.
Really cool.
It has like a retro, like 18 kind of look.
Vibes. Yeah. And all the bullet holes with all the characters in it. We almost assume that a lot of these people are going to be outed.
Probably.
And it's going to be rated R, right?
Yes.
Where it's been confirmed. So. So I'm excited to see a lot of deaths, so to speak.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get one right off the bat. Like the second they go into the mission, someone just gets capped off like right then and there.
I honestly think a lot of like the more B movie squad that's been cast is going to get killed off in like the opening scene. And I think that they're going to have to bring in some of the original members back.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I think that's what's going to happen.
These people just are not getting it done.
Right,
you guys need to come back.
Yes.
And I'm excited to see live action King Shark.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they're going to do because, like, look, whatever you think of the CW TV shows, I think The Flash did a really good job of that King Shark interpretation.
I was going to say, for the CW, like, they did a pretty good job with the special effects of King Shark.
Yeah. But that was the Great White. I think, or at least I hope that he's going to go more into, like, the Hammerhead route.
Yeah. Which
is a little different. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do with that, and I'm just I'm just very similar to the Batman. I want to see like these characters in context and see how they look. I want to see maybe they're going to change up any of the looks from like Margot Robbie's Harley or anything like that. So yeah, it's going to be a fun day.
Definitely. I'm also excited to see a brand new trailer for Wonder Woman 84.
Oh fuck yeah!
We're gonna be getting that. Hopefully that movie holds its release date in October because we are itching to see it. And then there are also 2 brand new video games that are dropping. One of them is from Rocksteady, who did the Arkham games, and it's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Yeah.
So you're playing as a Suicide Squad and you're going after the Justice League. Shout out to my brother Joey. He basically kind of gave what he thinks is going on in the game. He thinks that it's kind of an injustice kind of thing where Superman's gone bad, as is a lot of the Justice League, that they're kind of like the semi-quasi-villains of the story. And the Suicide Squad is trying to take them down.
Shut them down.
Right. So that'd be a cool.
Which would make sense. Kind of continue the that story.
Yes.
Like you can almost have that almost like as a tie-in, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the poster's really cool because it shows the crosshairs on Superman.
And even that sort of like that monochromatic the way they added like a sort of monochromatic look to it with the black and white is very similar to like the Arkham Asylum. Remember when they did that when they had like Catwoman and Batman and all that stuff. So that also reminded me a lot. Harness a lot back to that, and just also completely side note, I think what they did with the Injustice, the way they branched off into like the comic books, some of those stories and the Injustice stories in the comic books were like fucking incredible.
Right.
So I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited to see what that one game's going to be. And they got another one too.
There's another one. So WB Montreal, who did the Arkham Origins game, is doing. I think they're doing another Batman game, and I think it's going to focus on the Court of Owls, which is really cool. I read Court of Owls for the first time I think 2 years ago, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
I loved it. I thought it was great.
And also, it looks like there's going to be some Court of Owls flavor in the Batman.
Yes.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're maybe all working together collaboratively to maybe just spill details here and there to give, I guess, just make other stuff more exciting. Like, hey, remember when we saw that in the video game? Like, hey, you were gonna see this in the too, or vice versa. Something like that.
I think that's also been a rumor that Court of Owls might be a main villain in one of Reeves's, Batman trilogy going forward. Like whether it be 2 or 3, that he's gonna bring in the Court of Owls at some point, which would be really cool to see.
It would be really cool to see, but that's I mean, he's got 3 more movies to do it. You can almost tease it at the end,
absolutely,
and then establish it more like in the other one. So yeah, so I mean, in Reeves we trust.
Yes. All right, so now that we're excited for all that stuff, now we're going to jump over. Obviously, The Flash is going to be, at DC FanDome. So they're going to have a panel for it. And, what we were expecting was them to kind of confirm Keaton as going to be Batman in the movie. And we, we're hoping he's going to make an appearance, kind of reassure that.
Come out like Beetlejuice style.
Exactly. But Martin, so the big news that just dropped,
literally an hour ago,
and now I have to jump out of a window.
You have to jump out of a window.
Ben Affleck, Batfleck, is going to return as Batman in the upcoming Flash movie.
Object to the test!
So before we jump into us going nuts about that, this comes from Deadline. So this is a little bit of what's going on here. So sources have confirmed that Ben Affleck is returning as Batman in the upcoming Flash movie, which Warner Brothers is putting into production. It is to be a cameo role, and yes, Affleck will be playing The Dark Knight alongside Michael Keaton's Batman from the 1989 Tim Burton film.
God.
Andy Muschietti is kind of teasing Batfleck's kind of role in this, and it makes like a ton of sense. So he says he's a very substantial part of the emotional impact of the movie. The interaction and relationship between Barry and Affleck's Wayne will bring an emotional level that we haven't seen before. He also says that it's Barry's movie, it's Barry's story, but their characters, when referring to Bruce Wayne and Barry Allen, they're more related than we think. They both lost their mothers to murder, and that's one of the emotional vessels of the movie. That's where Affleck's Batman kicks in. So I think if you know the Flashpoint story, you kind of understand how Ben Affleck's Batman's gonna be brought into this. He's gonna be a cameo role in the beginning, gonna kind of set up, just that world that they're in before Barry jumps through the Speed Force and fucks up the timeline.
I can almost already picture it's going to open up in the Batcave. I can almost already see it. Oh my God, I called it. Fucking called it. I knew it, man. Some things you just know, some things you just feel it in your bones, and I just knew it. I knew that we were going to get the confirmation that he was coming back at the Dome. Obviously, we got it 2 days before, which is cool, but they're just teasing us. Hey guys,
I kind of wish they held this, because that would have just, they would have blown up the internet.
Yeah, but I already know that they're just being the way I see it, they're look, he's coming back just as a cameo role. He's not coming back for his own movies, but it's open.
Right.
He possibly could return.
Well, that's the good thing about what this Flash movie is going to do, is it's going to set up a multiverse. And it basically is allowing and now it's going to, in terms of context, I don't know if the general audience parents will get this, but we get this, basically saying that, Pattinson's Batman is part of this universe, but it's part of a one, like Earth 1, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's different Earths.
Right.
And it's all under this Elseworlds, well, not Elseworlds, but I guess this multiverse kind of thing that DC's going for. So
Flash could cameo in that movie, so to speak.
Yes.
But and also the worlds are different. So Reeve's going more of a realistic sort of grounded approach, and this obviously has more of the fantastical element, which is kind of what I like, because then you can have fun with the villains. You can actually have Mr. Freeze as a frozen villain. You can have Clayface. You can have all this crazy shit because you already established aliens and all this other sort of nonsense. But yeah, this is I think this is just a tip.
Yes.
And pretty much we're gonna get the full thing of him. I'm gonna say that he's probably gonna get his own project on HBO Max, regardless of whether it's the movie that he wants to make or something. But I feel like we're going to see him again post Flashpoint.
I would love it if that is the case. Obviously, I think a lot of and we said this when the Snyder Cut got announced, is I think a lot of things hinder on the success of the Snyder Cut. But I think if that ends up being a successful endeavor, I think that's when you're going to see a lot of stuff move forward that kind of stays under that Snyderverse kind of banner.
Right.
So I mean, if it ends up being like he gets to do a portion of his Batman script where it's him and Deathstroke, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
like
all
absolutely.
about it.
Give me that.
And yes, I know there's going to be like multiple Batmans. I get it, but I'm all about it. I want all the Batman hot dogs.
Yeah.
I want it. And yeah, like that's just how I see it. It's like, look, he's coming back for this, but it's not like the book's not closed.
The book's not closed.
Yeah, like it's definitely like possibilities.
Yes. And I guess the other thing that I really like about this is that even if, so let's just say that this is it for Batfleck, this is the last thing he's going to do. It's not. But the thing that I do like about it is that it gives you some sort of continuity, and it gives him somewhat of like an ending to the character.
Right.
So he's not just kind of left hanging after the Snyder Cut comes out. You get to somewhat continue on in The Flash, and if it is the end for him, at least it's somewhat of a closure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get some sort of closure, which is nice, and that makes me happy because I'm a you know, when it comes to continuity, like I need continuity. I can't just have like these threads left dangling. It drives me nuts.
Right. Because I'll be honest, that sort of same thing that I had in my bones about him coming back, it's not really there moving forward.
Yeah.
So like you said, it could be potentially a thing where we're like, hey, we can finally close the chapter on this character, give him his proper due, and then, you know, he'll live on forever in like the digital HBO Max world with like the Snyder Cut and whatever. But I just feel like with this news, there's like some sort of talks going on where I'm like hoping that's not the last we're gonna see him. I think like there are some talks or shit being done that can potentially bring him back somehow in future projects.
Right, and I also want to give props to Andy Muschietti for having that forward kind of thinking, because I love one of the things he said. He basically said that Ben Affleck's Batman, he's the baseline, he's the starting point. He's part of the unaltered state before Barry's jump, you know, before his time jump. So there's like the familiarity there. So it's like, you know, going in, it's like, okay, this is part of Justice League.
Right,
so,
because even Flashpoint, it's just them. Like they're just talking about just shooting the shit. And
right.
then it really kind of like opens up with them and kind of closes up with them. So.
And I also wonder too, like, so if, like at the end of Flash, like, you know, total speculation, like when Barry comes back, obviously the timeline's going to be altered. It's going to be different. So that we just assume that Keaton's maybe there, or when he comes back, it's, you know, like,
which is what we've been saying forever.
Right.
It looks like they're finally actually, I know they listen to us. I know they did just because they listen to us.
Yes.
Like, oh, you know what? We'll listen to them there because they have a good point. We've been saying this forever. This is how you reboot Batman, or how you reboot everything. If you want to, if hypothetically speaking, a bunch of shit failed, like Aquaman or whatever, and you need to reboot those characters for whatever reason, this is how you do it. You literally have the button in front of you.
Yeah.
So he's going to come back, and he comes back, he's like, oh, where the fuck is Bruce? And he's like, what do you mean? I'm Bruce. And it's just like, and everyone just goes along with it.
Right.
Like, Wonder Woman knows who that is. Aquaman knows who that is. Like, it's just that thing where this is how you literally can just, you can literally do whatever you want.
Yes.
Because when he comes back, it's like a clean slate.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of open. It's an open book.
it's an open book.
It's an open book.
Okay,
And then you
go.
can just fill it in however you want.
Right. And then I guess, like, I was also thinking this too, like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy where we're at, like, with DC, because I feel like after Justice League came out, like, we were just absolutely hopeless that, you know, any sort of continuity and like DC, like a universe that like someone like the MCU was actually going to happen. And fast forward to a few years later, and we're kind of
first
back.
fast forward to Flash, because I'm not Flash, Shazam, because they kept that continuity alive for Shazam.
Right.
And I was like, why are you doing this? Like,
Right.
clearly so much shit just did not work, and you're still keeping it alive. Why aren't you trying to like start something new? They told me to go fuck myself, because like clearly, whether it was intentional or planned or not, who knows? But clearly now they're at a point where they understand. Where they kind of understand the material, and they're like, look, this is what we can do, is how we can move forward, and they're just making all the right moves. It took them 7 years,
right?
But hey, you got there.
Better late than never.
Better late than never. You're finally starting to make some of the right moves, and yeah, it's a little reassuring from a fan standpoint, just kind of what we can possibly get in the future.
Definitely. But that just, you know, goes to what we're saying. We're super excited for DC FanDome. A lot of stuff is going to get announced. A lot of stuff is going to drop. And yeah, cannot fucking wait.
And even though this took fucking like 2 years to arrive, and now almost has, like you said that one time, it has more value.
It does.
And we have something else coming.
Oh, we do.
And we're so excited.
We got something cool coming to the F Nerd Studio.
To the F Nerd Studio.
So hopefully by the next episode 18, you guys will be able to check it out and see what we got.
We'll probably flex a little bit on the Instagram story or something.
We're definitely going to flex a little bit for sure.
But yeah, we're gonna have a nice addition to Hot Toy Tactical Batsuit Batman.
Definitely. All right, Nerds Nation, that does it for us. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Remember to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube page. And remember, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else where you can see that big, beautiful FN logo.
That's sexy FN.
Martin, before we sign off, anything you want to say?
Yes, I want to say thank you to thank you to Nurse Nation. Our streams have gone up. Our just everything it just continues to grow.
Yeah, interaction with our podcasts.
Just everything continues to grow, and it makes us really happy and feel all fuzzy inside. We really appreciate it. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the feedback, and it just kind of motivates us to just kind of keep doing this
and to be better and to get
to
better.
Be better. Yeah, to be better and just keep putting hopefully good content out there. We just want to make you guys happy, we want to make you guys smile, and hopefully we're doing that. And we appreciate all the positive feedback, support, love, etc. Yeah,
definitely. I second all of that.
Yeah.
And on that, guys, we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah. Bye.